Hello ratbags, it's Jade. Welcome to another survival game, Stranded Deep. I've got big news about Stranded Deep today. Well, if you've been following this game anyway, I feel it's big news. The developers are releasing more and more little bits of info about why the delay has happened in getting this game on Xbox and PlayStation. If you don't know, Stranded Deep was meant to come out last year. I've documented it quite a lot. They were being published by Telltale Games, and unfortunately it literally crashed a week or so before they was meant to release on console. Telltale Games went out of business. I've kept you up to date with what's going on with 7 Days to Die, but I have periodically give you updates of what's happening with this. We were expecting it maybe a little bit quicker a few months ago. The game developers announced they'd found another publisher and they'd managed to buy their rights back from the insolvency company that basically bought the rights for Stranded Deep, or was selling, I should say, the Telltale rights for Stranded Deep on console. So I'm playing on PC right now, and today the developers did tweet a bunch of stuff in reply to a few questions, basically saying why there's been a delay to the game coming. And it's all just down to paperwork. It's a big deal, big business, and I really feel for these developers. If you don't know, Stranded Deep is literally made by like a 2-person team. They have been in early access on Steam for a number of years, but obviously when you're that small a team and you're making something that's a bit of a passion project, it's always going to be pretty tough. They are looking to gear up for 1.0 release later on this year, and I'm looking forward to this game coming. I can't say definitively it's going to be an amazing game because I've only played a little bit of it on Steam, but I am looking to do a little let's play. In fact, I may even start that this week while I'm away on holiday. So let's go over the tweets, what they've said. So it was May the 24th when we really last heard anything about console. Understandably, the auction for Telltale's assets literally happened in April, and they were pretty quick to give people news. In fact, much quicker than the fun pimps who develop in 7 Days to Die, who still have not really been updating their community as much. So hats off and a big hand clap for Beam Team Games. I really feel that limited as it has been, they've still been a bit more communicative than some of the other companies affected by the Telltale collapse. But in May they said they had the full rights back for Stranded Deep. They're teaming up with a smaller publisher and they're going to co-publish the game on Xbox and PlayStation. Fast forward to the end of July and they spoke about a few things, expressing how hard it is for the logistics of getting the game released on console. They've had lots of little delays that have been out of their hands. They do have a rough timeline for release, but we won't be releasing a release date until it's sure. Now, you know how some gamers are, some people are literally just Twitter trolls and want everything just literally popped on their plate. A few people did give them a hard time about the fact they hadn't made any announcements since May or even earlier than that. But understandably, it does take time to get this stuff going on, and I feel like the Beam Team Games really have been a bit more communicative than some of the others. We're working on releasing on consoles as soon as possible. Unfortunately, we keep hitting all external delays that all add up. Beam Team, Ben and I have been around for a while now, and I think we have a pretty honest reputation. How dare this Twitter smart ass have the same name as me? Biding time and playing people implies dishonest behaviour. We're just two dudes trying to keep everyone up to date. I will make sure I post some more carefully worded in the future. All the best. And look at that, they even know how to deal with arsehole people nicely too. As you can see, there's been plenty of updates, lots of fixes. They've added new playable female character, player skills, XP, game modes, new sharks, loads of stuff. And this is all coming to the console build, hopefully. And one of the biggest tells that it's going to be happening very soon is achievements. Now, of course, Steam has its own achievements, but we will be able to take a quick glimpse of what you'll be aiming to strive for if that's your thing on Xbox and PlayStation. Their original plan was to release it on console as a full game, and while still adding updates to the early access version on PC, a little bit like 7 Days to Die, which they'd hoped to release finally out of early access this year as well, not like 7 Days to Die and literally be years and years. So I think that's probably changed a little bit now. Since they've got the Steam achievements ready, it's usually like one of the last sort of steps or stages you'll go through before releasing fully. So we could see them releasing Stranded Deep as 1.0 on PC and full release on Xbox and PlayStation pretty much at the same time, although I reckon console's still going to be a little bit behind with certain things or features. Someone asked if there's just any news on console release, which is probably sick of hearing. Not yet, we're actively working on it. The paperwork stuff is what's taking time. We've had to start fresh, setting up everything for console under Beam Team instead of the old third party. I.e. they couldn't actually carry on because everything was listed as Telltale. They've had to set up new accounts with the PlayStation, the Xbox, the Peggy board for the ratings. Yada yada, almost there. It's coming, guys. I think it's going to be soon. I'm really hoping it. In fact, it will be October. Once they get this signed off by Peggy, which is looking likely soon, which is the ratings board for Europe. I really do think they'll be able to drop it, as it was pretty much ready to go back last year. They got their code back in April. A few fixer-ups, changing the UI and the title screens, not to reference Telltale maybe. And of course, hopefully update and keep adding more content to it. I really think this is going to be a big hit once it hits consoles in October. Now, it's not 100% guaranteed in October, it could be longer, but that's what I really hope. So good stuff, well done Beam Team Games. I've been harassing them trying to get some sort of interview. I'd love to talk to them about their experience developing their game in general, but also the problems it caused and how it just transpired when it got sort of canned a week or so before their release. Ultimately, if you're a long time subscriber of mine, you know I cover pretty much every console survival game out there. I also take a look at the new ones that are coming to PC, and I am pretty hopeful of this. Already, in just the first few moments of playing around on this, I can see massive improvements from what it was when I last played it. So I'm really looking forward to getting my teeth stuck in. I don't necessarily want to do too much on PC, because I am just one of them console scrubs. But for sure, I think something about this game is going to be pretty good. If you like games like The Forest, Subnautica, I think you're going to really enjoy Stranded Deep. If you're expecting something a little bit more like Ark or Conan, they're really big, massive multiplayer survival games, and maybe not in the same sort of, I'd say, ballpark at all. Currently, right now on Steam, you can only play Stranded Deep co-op split screen. Yes, that's right, you can play split screen if you're playing it on the same PC. There is no way that you can just add 3 friends and all run around, or even with like a spear or some sort of tether system. Survival for sure does work really well in a lot of cases with multiplayer. We've seen the big ones as I mentioned earlier. But this type of game, I think it probably works better as a solo experience, or yeah, just couch co-op. But it would be nice if they do have the ability that you can invite at least 2 or 3 of your friends. It is something that they have had pinned in their Q&A, or said that they were maybe not working on it or ready to talk about it just yet. Lots of people point back to 2015 that they said they were going to be adding multiplayer, or at least co-op proper options. So we'll have to wait and see how that actually folds. But honestly, not every bloody game needs to be multiplayer. I really enjoy Stranded Deep, and I actually don't think it needs multiplayer. Maybe in the future they could add something, but whenever you have these types of multiplayer games, it does cause a lot of problems with performance, and so we don't want these games to be buggy or horrible. But nevertheless, that's what they've put so far. Co-op is in the game, and literally just my luck, it's night time. I can't really show stuff off too much. You can expect this game to be around $20 or so. That's what it was when they announced it coming on Xbox and PlayStation last year. Now it may change, I don't want to say that as gospel, maybe it'll go up a little bit, but I still think $20 is pretty much a bargain for this type of game. The Forest nailed its price point beautifully as well. That was a pretty good, decent game, and it was priced well as well. In fact, I rate The Forest as my #1 survival game on console. Literally much better than DayZ charging like $50 for a game that's been out for over 6 years in early access. Now, I don't want to go on too much because DayZ is quite a different game again. So, Stranded Deep, yeah, you basically will be going from island to island, trying to find resources, building up your bases. You have got a little watch that's going to give you a little bit of info about your health. So pretty much exactly like Green Hell that recently just came out of early access. And it does appear I've got some sort of rash. All the usual shenanigans with crafting, but it's not overcomplicated. You simply just have to have the materials, clonk what you want down, and that's it, how you pick it up. I really preferred this method as opposed to something like Green Hell, which I've been playing a bit lately, which is really, really complicated. I feel like the control schemes that have been added have definitely helped the game out. And for sure, the optimizations that they have to do to get it on console have also helped PC as well. If you can't tell, I'm a little bit excited. Yes, it may be one of them games that ends up being a little bit stale after you've completed a lot of it. The Forest ended up getting like that a little bit. It's one of them games you definitely have to experience and enjoy for the story and getting through that survival experience. But I'm still looking forward to Stranded Deep a lot. It's definitely been on my hit list for such a long time. So, if you want to see this game and you want to see it on my channel, make sure you're liking this video. I'm going to keep you guys up to date. I'll be the first person to let you know when we have a proper official release date. And as I said, I'm going to work really hard to secure some proper gameplay on release. Hopefully I can maybe show off some early access stuff before the full release on console itself. Let me know if you want to see a full Let's Play of this as well right now on PC, or at least a few little episodes just to get you in the flavour and the mood. And I'll see you right back for more Stranded Deep info very soon. Oh, it's bleeding. It's bleeding. It's bleeding. Come here, little piggy. Squeal, little piggy. Squeal.